I call this meeting of the Northeast Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The board will now adjourn into executive session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, private consultation with the board's attorney. 551.072, discussing purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. 551.074, to discuss personnel or to hear complaints against personnel, and the time is 5:31. The board will now reconvene into open session. The time is 6:39. On behalf of the trustees, I would like to welcome you to this evening's meeting of the Northeast Independent School Board. This is a business meeting of the board held in public. We appreciate your attendance and request your respectful attention. We welcome your comments during the matters from the floor section of the agenda. If you signed up to address a specific action item, you will be called at that time. Finally, I would like to remind you that it is the mission of Northeast to challenge and encourage each student to achieve and demonstrate academic excellence, technical skills, and responsible citizenship. Item 5, invocation and pledge of allegiance. A, Castle Hills Elementary School. Ms. Asham.
Good evening, Madam President, board members, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. I am Betsy Asham, the proud principal of Castle Hills Elementary. It was the first NEISD school that was opened, and we are the only year-round school in the area. In fact, this is our 12th day of school. Yay. It is my pleasure to introduce Nara Monreal. She is a 5th grade student at Castle Hill. She is one of those students you were just describing. She's a straight A student. She had the highest reading score on the STAR test. She, yes, that is definitely a round of applause. This year, she is in our school play, and she was on our Battle of the Books team last year. She has a poem to share with you, and she's joined here also by her mother, Rachel Monreal. Nara, come on up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'm going to read a poem by Donna, and it's called You Can Be Whatever You Want to Be. There is inside you all the potential to be whatever you want to be, all of the energy to do whatever you want to do. Imagine yourselves you'd like to be, doing what you want to do. Each day take one step towards your dream, and though at times it may seem difficult to continue, hold on to your dream. One morning you will awake to find you are the person you dreamed of, doing what you wanted to do, simply because you had the courage to believe in your potential and hold on to your dream. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have Nicholas Fuini here to lead us in the pledges, and he is joined by his parents, Jennifer and Nicholas Fuini, as well as his Mimi, his sister Alessandra, who is going to be a Castle Hill student, and Kaki, his grandmother, who is our school counselor. Yes, Nico is an A honor roll student. He had the highest math STAR score in the 4th grade. He is in GT. He's on the robotics team, and he has been in the school play 5 years. So come on up, Nico.
Good evening. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for the pledge to the Texas state flag. Ready? Begin. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you so much. Nico and Nara, would you come up to the front, please? And Mrs. Wolff is going to come and hand you a certificate, and we're going to take a picture. You both did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. And you probably have homework, so you're welcome to go home and have supper and do homework. Thank you all for being here. Item number 6, matters from executive session. A, personnel including but not limited to administrative appointments pursuant to Government Code Section 551.074. 1, possible action regarding routine personnel including but not limited to administrative appointments. Do I have a motion to approve routine personnel?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Wheat. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, principal of Woodstone Elementary School. Do I have a motion to approve principal of Woodstone as presented in executive session?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. White. There can be no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Number 3, Dr. Gottardy, introductions.
Thank you, Madam President, board members, ladies and gentlemen. We have quite a few introductions this evening. I'm going to ask our administrators that are in the audience that when I call your name to please stand. And I'm going to start tonight with the administrative position that we just approved, which is the principal of Woodstone Elementary School, Miss Kelly Halliburton. Kelly? Kelly joined the Northeast family in 2007. Prior to being named the principal at Woodstone Elementary School, she was the assistant principal at East Terrell Hills Elementary. Ms. Halliburton received a bachelor's degree in elementary English in 1999 from Pacific Lutheran University. She earned a master's degree in curriculum and instruction in 2003 from Lesley University. Ms. Halliburton has 17 years in education. Congratulations, Kelly. All right, we have a special assignment principal at White Middle School, Dr. Brent Brummett. Dr. Brummett joined the Northeast family in 1992. Prior to being named the special assignment principal at White Middle School, he was a hearing officer in pupil personnel. Dr. Brummett received a bachelor's degree in English in 1990 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. He earned a master's degree in teaching in 1992 from Trinity University. He also earned a doctorate degree in educational administration in 2015 from the University of Texas at Austin. Dr. Brummett has 23 years in education. Congratulations, Brent. Special assignment principal at Walsham Elementary School, Mr. John Hines. John? Mr. Hines joined the Northeast family in 1991. Prior to being named the special assignment principal at Walsham, he was the principal at Encino Park Elementary School. Mr. Hines received a bachelor's degree in elementary education in 1991 from Angelo State University, and he earned a master's degree in educational administration in 1995 from Texas A&M University, Kingsville. Mr. Hines has 24 years in education. Congratulations, John. New principal of Harris Middle School, Ms. Jeremy Niehoff. Ms. Niehoff joined the Northeast family in 2008. Prior to being named the principal at Harris, she was an assistant principal there at Harris Middle School. Ms. Niehoff received a bachelor's degree in mathematics, exercise, and sports science in 1997 from St. Mary's University. She earned a master's degree in education in 2005 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Ms. Niehoff has 17 years in education. Congratulations, Jeremy. The new principal at Tex Hill Middle School, Mr. Alan Rockus. Mr. Rockus joined the Northeast family in 1989. Prior to being named the principal at Tex Hill Middle School, he was the principal at Los Lomas Elementary School. Mr. Rockus received a bachelor's degree in elementary education in 1985 from Quincy College. He earned a master's degree in educational administration in 1999 from Trinity University. Mr. Rockus has 30 years in education. Congratulations, Alan. New principal of John Wood Middle School, Mr. Marcus Alvarez. Mr. Alvarez joined the Northeast family in 2009. Prior to being named the principal at Wood Middle School, he was an assistant principal at Churchill High School. Mr. Alvarez received a bachelor's degree in mathematics in 1998 from the University of Texas in Austin. He earned a master's degree in mathematics in 2007 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Mr. Alvarez has 17 years in education. Congratulations, Marcus. New principal of Coker Elementary School, Miss Andrea Hall. Ms. Hall joined the Northeast family in 2007. Prior to being named the principal for Coker Elementary, she was assistant principal for Jackson Keller Elementary School. Ms. Hall received a bachelor's degree in communications in 1996 from Georgia Southern University, and she earned a master's degree in reading in 2005 and one in educational leadership in 2009, both from St. Mary's University. Ms. Hall has 12 years in education. Congratulations, Andrea. New principal of Encino Park Elementary School, Mr. James Miller. James joined the Northeast family in 2008. Prior to being named the principal of Encino Park, he was the assistant principal there at Encino Park Elementary. Mr. Miller received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 1994 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. He earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2003 from Texas A&M University, Kingsville. Mr. Miller has 14 years in education. Congratulations, James. New principal of Los Lomas Elementary School, Miss Jennifer Lomas.
I love it.
The school was not named after Jennifer.
Love it.
Ms. Lomas joined the Northeast family in 2006. Prior to being named the principal at Los Lomas Elementary, she was the assistant principal there at Los Lomas. Ms. Lomas received a bachelor's degree in biology in 1995 from Hamline University. She earned a master's degree in school administration in 2003 from Trinity University. Ms. Lomas has 16 years in education, and congratulations, Jennifer. New principal of Northwood Elementary School, Miss Catherine Harper. Ms. Harper joined the Northeast family in 1993. Prior to being named the principal for Northwood, she was the assistant principal for Clear Spring Elementary School. Ms. Harper received a bachelor's degree in multidisciplinary studies in 1992 from Texas Tech University, and she earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2005 from Texas A&M University. Ms. Harper has 23 years in education. Congratulations, Catherine. New principal of Vineyard Ranch Elementary School, Miss Deidre Williams. Ms. Williams joined the Northeast family in 2004. Prior to being named principal of Vineyard Ranch, she was the assistant principal for Lopez Middle School. Ms. Williams received a bachelor's degree in elementary education in 1990 from Lamar University, and she earned a master's degree in education curriculum and instruction in 2014 from the University of Texas at Arlington. Ms. Williams has 24 years in education. Congratulations, Deidre. New principal of Wilderness Oak Elementary School, Dr. Ross McLaughlin. Dr. McLaughlin is joining the Northeast family as a principal at Wilderness Oak Elementary. Before joining Northeast, he was a principal in the Uvalde School District. Dr. McLaughlin received a bachelor's degree in history and middle school education in 1994 from Texas A&M University. He earned a master's degree in school administration in 2000 from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Additionally, he earned a doctorate in administration and supervision of schools in 2009 from Texas A&M University. Dr. McLaughlin has 21 years in education. Congratulations and welcome, Ross. We have a new director, academy director of our career and technical education, Mr. Justin Misseldine. Justin joined the Northeast family in 2012. Prior to being named the academy director at Career and Technical Education, he was an assistant director in the Career and Technical Education department. Mr. Misseldine received a bachelor's degree in agricultural development in 2001 from Texas A&M University. He earned a master's degree in educational leadership in 2011 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Mr. Misseldine has 13 years in education. Congratulations, Justin. We have a new director of our Design and Technology Academy at Roosevelt High School, Miss Christina Mank-Allen. Miss Mank-Allen joined our family in 2003. Prior to being named the Design and Technology Academy Director at Roosevelt High School, she was the Design and Technology Academy Director at White Middle School. Miss Mank-Allen received a bachelor's degree in Applied Learning and Development in 1999 from the University of Texas in Austin. She earned a master's degree in Educational Leadership in 2008 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Miss Mank-Allen has 17 years in education. Congratulations, Christina. We have a new assistant principal at Churchill High School, Mr. Xavier Chavez. Mr. Chavez joined the Northeast family in 2006. Prior to being named assistant principal at Churchill, he was the assistant principal at Kruger Middle School. Mr. Chavez received a bachelor's degree in business administration in 1984 from the University of Texas at El Paso. He earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2005 from New Mexico State University. Mr. Chavez has 27 years in education. Congratulations, Xavier. We have another assistant principal at Churchill High School, Miss Michelle Ramirez Castaneda. Ms. Ramirez Castaneda joined the Northeast family in 2004. Prior to being named the assistant principal at Churchill, she was the assistant principal at Eisenhower Middle School. Ms. Ramirez Castaneda received a Bachelor of Science degree in 1993 from Texas A&M University. She earned a master's degree in counseling and guidance in 1998 from the University of Texas Pan Am. Ms. Ramirez Castaneda has 22 years in education. Congratulations, Michelle. A new assistant principal of the International School of the Americas, Miss Victoria Woodard. Ms. Woodard joined the Northeast family in 2009. Prior to being named the assistant principal at ISA, she was the internship coordinator teacher at ISA. Ms. Woodard received a bachelor's degree in sociology in 2008 from Trinity University. She earned a master's degree in middle and secondary grades in 2009 and another in education leadership in 2015, both from Trinity University. Ms. Woodard has 6 years in education. Congratulations, Victoria. A new assistant principal of Johnson High School, Mr. Sean Reno. Mr. Reno joined the Northeast family in 2008. Prior to being named assistant principal for Johnson High School, he was an athletics teacher for Johnson High School. Mr. Reno received a bachelor's degree in kinesiology in 1999 from Texas Lutheran University, and he earned a master's degree in education in 2002 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Mr. Reno has 15 years in education. Congratulations, Sean. New assistant principal at Kruger Middle School, Miss Denise Hinchman. There she is. Ms. Hinchman joined the Northeast family in 2005. Prior to being named assistant principal at Kruger, she was the academic dean at Kruger. Ms. Hinchman received a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies in 1990 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. She earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2011 from Concordia University. Ms. Hinchman has 18 years in education. Congratulations, Denise. A new assistant principal of Lee High School, Ms. Sandra Baez. Ms. Baez joined the Northeast family in 2013. Prior to being named assistant principal at Lee, she was a special education campus coordinator at Lee High School. Ms. Baez received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 2003 from Southwest College. She earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2009 from Southwest College. Ms. Baez has 5 years in education. Congratulations, Sandra. New assistant principal of Madison High School, Ms. Christina Mosier. Christina joined the Northeast family in 2007. Prior to being named assistant principal at Madison, she was the instructional dean at Madison High School. Ms. Mosier received a bachelor's degree in government in 2003 from the University of Texas at Austin. She earned a master's degree in education in 2007 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Ms. Mosier has 12 years in education. Congratulations, Christina. New assistant principal of Madison High School, Mr. Gonzalo Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez is joining our family as assistant principal of Madison. Before joining Northeast, he was a principal in the Edgewood Independent School District. Mr. Ramirez received a bachelor's degree in business administration in 1993 from Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. He earned a master's degree in educational leadership and administration in 2007 from Texas State University. Mr. Ramirez has 13 years in education. Congratulations, Gonzalo, and welcome. A new assistant principal at White Middle School, Mr. Anthony Allen. Anthony. Mr. Allen joined the Northeast family in 2008. Prior to being named assistant principal at White, he was a math teacher at Churchill High School. Mr. Allen received a bachelor's degree in mathematics in 2004 from the University of Texas, San Antonio. He earned a master's degree in education in 2008 from also the University of Texas, San Antonio. Mr. Allen has 12 years in education. Congratulations, Anthony. New assistant principal of White Middle School, Miss Bethany Lorge. Help me out here. Miss Bethany Lorge. Welcome, Bethany. Bethany joined the Northeast family in 2008. Prior to being named assistant principal at White, she was a teacher at Kruger Middle School. Miss Lorge received a bachelor's degree in psychology in 2007 from Williams College. She earned a master's degree in teaching in 2008 from Trinity University. Miss Lorge has a second master's degree in educational leadership in 2016 from Trinity University. Miss Lorge has 8 years in education. Welcome and congratulations, Bethany. New assistant principal of Walsham Elementary School, Miss Brigitte Dunlap. I'm going to read her bio anyway. Joined the Northeast family in 2005. Prior to being named assistant principal at Walsham, she was a special education teacher at Hardy Oak Elementary. Ms. Dunlap received a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies in 2003 from Texas A&M University, Kingsville. She earned a master's degree in educational leadership and policy studies in 2015 from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Ms. Dunlap has 11 years in education. We have a new Assistant Director at the Academy of Creative Education, Miss Daniela Martinez. Ms. Martinez joined the Northeast family in 2012. Prior to being named Assistant Director at the Academy of Creative Education, she was a special education teacher at Eisenhower Middle School. Ms. Martinez received a bachelor's degree in exercise and sports science in 2011 from Texas State University. She also earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2015 from Lamar University. Ms. Martinez has 5 years in education. Congratulations, Daniela. We have a new executive director in the Curriculum and Instruction Department, Ms. Patricia Patty Castellano. Ms. Castellano joined the Northeast family in 2001. Prior to being named the executive director for Curriculum and Instruction, she was a senior director for school improvement. Ms. Castellano received a bachelor's degree in biology in 1990 from St. Mary's University, and she earned a master's degree in curriculum and instruction in 2000 from Our Lady of the Lake University. Ms. Castellano has 29 years in education. Congratulations, Patty. We have a new executive director in our Fine Arts Department, Miss Julie Shore. Ms. Shore joined the Northeast family in 2008. Prior to being named the Executive Director for Fine Arts, she was the principal for Tex Hill Middle School. Ms. Shore received a bachelor's degree in biology in 1990 from the Our Lady of the Lake University and another in exercise and sports science in 1999 from Southwest Texas State University. She earned a master's degree in educational administration in 2007 from Texas A&M University, Kingsville. Ms. Shore has 16 years in education. Congratulations, Julie. We have a new executive director in our school administration department, Dr. Sean Micah. Dr. Micah joined the Northeast family in 2013. Prior to being named the executive director for school administration and staff development, he was the principal at Harris Middle School. Dr. Micah received a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies in 1995 from Texas A&M University Corpus Christi, and he earned a master's degree in education in 2000 and his doctorate in educational leadership in 2007, both from the University of Texas at San Antonio. Dr. Micah has 21 years in education. Congratulations, Sean. We have a new senior director in our Career and Technology Education Department, Mr. Johnny Vahalik. Mr. Vahalik joined the Northeast family in 2013. Prior to being named the Senior Director for Career and Technology Education, he was the Director for Career and Technology Education. Mr. Vahalik received a bachelor's degree in business administration in 1995 from the University of Texas San Antonio and earned a master's degree in educational leadership in 2007 from the Walden University. Mr. Vahalik has 17 years in education. Congratulations, Johnny. A new senior director of HR services, Ms. Shyla Whidden. All right, I'm going to read Shyla's bio anyway. Joined our family in 2002. Prior to being named the Senior Director for HR Services for Human Resources, she was the Director of Compensation and HRIS. Ms. Whidden received a bachelor's degree in Business Administration in 2001 from Texas A&M University. Ms. Whidden has 14 years in education. Congratulations, Charlotte. New Senior Director of our Leadership Development and Safe and Drug-Free Schools, Ms. Otika Gibson. Ms. Gibson joined the Northeast family in 2013. Prior to being named the Senior Director for Leadership Development and Safe and Drug-Free Schools, she was the principal at Oak Grove Elementary School. Ms. Gibson received a bachelor's degree in elementary education in 1989 from Midwestern State University, and she earned a master's degree in school counseling in 1996 from Midwestern State University. Ms. Gibson has 14 years in education. Congratulations, Otika. We also have some lateral reassignment introductions. Miss Emma Yates. Rachel here? Rachel's not here. She's moving from principal at Walsham Elementary School to Stall Elementary School. And Miss Yates has 20 years in education. We have another principal, Stacia Fitzsimmons, is moving from Wilderness Oak Elementary School to Regency Place Elementary School. Is Stacia here? Okay, Stacia has 25 years in education, and I know this person here, moving from Executive Director for School Improvement to the Executive Director for Performance and Planning, Miss Terry Chidgey. Terry? Terry has 36 years in education. Congratulations, Terry. And I'm halfway through with introductions. I'm kidding. That concludes our introductions this evening. Congratulations. Welcome. Let the work begin for all our new administrators to their new positions. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
You did that in pretty good time. Need some water?
Yes.
Congratulations to you all. If you're new to Northeast, welcome. We're excited to have you all. So now go to work. All right. Item B, possible action on the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property pursuant to Government Code Section 551.072. No action. Item C, possible action regarding consultation with board's attorney pursuant to Government Code Section 551.071. 1, pending and/or possible litigation. No action. Item 7, presentations. A, Administrative Training Program Graduation 2015-2016. Dr. Newman.
Thank you, President Grona, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. I would like to call Mr. Joe Reasons to the podium to do the introductions.
You'd like for me to do that?
Give just a moment while our guests leave. There's no one here to hear my comment. Well, you could have started. Thank you very much for the opportunity to address the board this evening, and only the board. On behalf of my fellow executive directors, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the latest graduates of the Northeast Administrative Training Program. Last year, Ms. Jane Jensen, Mr. Bill Boyd, and I spent many hours with this group of young educators, and we're very proud of what they have accomplished. They are proof that our district will be in good hands in the future. Those I will introduce spent the year learning from each other, learning from the principals in their schools, and exploring a variety of practical and philosophical topics several times a month. They spent a lot of time hearing from our own district administrators to learn the Northeast way, and from outside consultants who have spoken on topics such as trust management and developing individual leadership styles. And finally, they did an excellent job of designing the Northeast administrative calendar for this year, and I hope that you have received your copies. I'd like each intern to please come forward as I call your name. Mr. Anthony Allen, Assistant Principal at Ed White Middle School. Mr. Michael Amaya could not be with us this evening, but he is the instructional coach at Wood Middle School. Lydia Aranda, 5th grade ESL teacher at Harmony Hills Elementary. James Bills, 5th grade teacher at Northwood Elementary. Thomas Brooks, Assistant Principal at Roosevelt High School. Kimberly Charles could not be with us this evening. She is the Assistant Principal at Harmony Hills Elementary. And Michelle De La Garza could not be with us, but she is the Assistant Principal at Tejeda Middle School. Tom Irwin, Psychology and Government teacher and Assistant Tennis coach at Churchill High School. Dr. Patricia Garcia, auditory impaired itinerant teacher housed at Oak Meadow Elementary. Delia Gauna, fourth grade dual language teacher at Stone Oak Elementary.
Yeah.
Osana Gonzalez could not
Over
be
there in the
with us.
front
She is
row.
assistant principal at Roosevelt High School, as well as Sarah Hessless, fifth grade teacher at Tuscany Heights Elementary. Sarah Hinojosa, assistant principal at Lee High School. Shannon Kaliski, assistant principal at Royal Ridge Elementary. Ida Nunez, assistant principal at Stone Oak Elementary. Sean Reno, assistant principal at Johnson High School. Lanita Spurlock, assistant principal at Reagan High School. Erica Stevens, science instructional coach at Nemitz Middle School. Maria Tovar, assistant principal at Jackson Keller Elementary. And unable to be with us was Brooke Tribby, English teacher at Bush Middle School. This year, and in next month, we will be introducing you and looking forward to working with approximately 37 new interns. And when you saw all of the introductions that were made this evening, I think I can assure you that we will do our absolute best to make sure that they are prepared to take the next step in educational administration as well as these folks are. Thank you very much to all of you.
Seven B, preliminary accountability projections. Dr. Dow.
Thank you, President Grona, trustees, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. We're here tonight to make a preliminary presentation on NEISD's results from the 2016 STAR assessment program, grades 3 through 8, and EOC. We will receive the official ratings this Friday, August 12th, we hope. And we should also receive the system safeguards designations, the distinction designations, accountability summaries by September 16th of 2016. This year has been, without a doubt, an unprecedented year in accountability, assessment and accountability for the state as they transition from their vendor from one to another. But despite it all, our educators and our teachers in particular have stayed just very focused, laser-like focus on the work that they needed to do to ensure they were helping kids to be successful and to achieve standard of excellence that is the tradition here in Northeast. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Ms. Terry Chidgey, Executive Director for Performance and Planning, and Jeff Kurth, who's Senior Director for Performance and Planning, and they're going to share with you the preliminary results.
Good evening. Dr. Gottardy,
President Grona, members of the board, executive staff, and guests. So before I begin to talk about the accountability and the results, I am going to share with you, as Dr. Dow said, the very unprecedented challenges we experienced this year with our new testing vendor. Through this experience, what we learned was that our Northeast ISD testing department, led by Laura Whitty, and the campus testing coordinators have systems and procedures in place to communicate issues in campus testing, to make adjustments when appropriate and as needed. Our district and campus testing teams really rallied under some very difficult circumstances, and they are to be commended. This chart outlines some of the many issues our team was confronted with. Beginning in early March, when we began accepting our testing materials, there were many issues starting from that very beginning time. They were shipped to the wrong address, the packaging was shoddy, there were incomplete orders, and many other situations with just the mere shipping of the materials. When we tested our 5th and 8th grade students in math and reading for the first administration and our 4th and 7th grade students on writing, there were numerous issues with STAR A online testing. At that time, the Commissioner of Education, Mike Morath, commented that the technical issues were unacceptable. When districts received the results for 5th and 8th grade testing, districts found that the summary reports and data files were incorrect, and many student confidential reports were missing. Due to the many concerns and the inconsistencies of the student data, on June 10th, the Commissioner announced that he was canceling the third administration for 5th and 8th grade, and that SSI was suspended for this year. In addition, the TEA schedule for releasing later results and the actual ratings was postponed. For all these reasons, we are still concerned about the student testing data, validity, and reliability. The accountability results we share with you tonight are still quite preliminary. The official ratings, as Dr. Dow mentioned, will be released this Friday by TEA.
So, as Terry had mentioned, it was quite a year for us in the testing area, and as she said, Laura Whitty's department did a great job of trying to control all of that kind of everything that happened within our district. On top of all that, of course, there were some big changes in accountability itself. And so I want to go over some of those changes from 2015 accountability to accountability 2016. The first thing is mathematics. This year, the grades 3-8 mathematics counts. As you remember last year, they were omitted from the accountability. So this is our first year with that. The other big piece is the standard itself. You might remember last year, and actually since 2012, we've been in phase-in 1, the phase-in 1 standard. Because of the commissioner's decision to move to a different kind of phase-in, which they eliminated the vocabulary of phase-in, and they moved to something that they call a progression. So they want to progress the standard from this year, from the 15-16 standard, and by the year 21-22, if we're still here, we should be at the level 2 recommended standard. And so it'll progress 1 to 2 questions every year to be able to reach to that point. For the difference between the standard from last year to this year, from the phase-in 1 to the new 2015-16 progression, is roughly about 1 question. We did an analysis of the grades 3 through 6 reading and math, and we found that the difference in raw scores is about one question difference from last year to this year, except for 3rd grade math, which it increased by 2 questions. That was a big change. And then finally, they included some different assessments. As you know, for this year, there are 4 major assessments: the general STAR, grades 3-8, and the STAR EOC for high school. They accommodated, so the STAR accommodated is included for our students with special needs. I'm sorry, and also Star Alt for our students with special needs. That's a brand new test this year that we're looking at. And then finally, the Star Lat or the Star L for our ELL students. Those are the 4 major tests that we use in the accountability system. But as you can see, as you look at the table there at the bottom from index 1 through 4, you notice that those 4 assessments are used differently across the 4 different indices. So for index 1 and 2, we use all 4 of the assessments that I named. Index 3 excludes the Star Lat, and index 4 excludes the Star Alt and the Star Lat tests. Also, changes for this upcoming, or this year for the 2016 accountability, the ratings criteria has changed. As you remember last year, you had to meet all 4 indices. You had to meet the criteria for index 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That was last year. This year, there's been a slight change to that, and so that for index 1 and 2, you have to meet either one or the other of the criteria. You still have to meet index 3 and index 4. So we describe it as 1 or 2 and 3 and 4. The actual targets for each one of the indices changed also. And looking at that across going from index 1 through index 4, the index 1 actually stayed at 60, as you can see, from 2015 to 2016. Index 2 and 3 was based on a 5th percentile. That 5th percentile, we were not sure what the target was going to be based on that. And what I mean by that is all the elementary campuses for index 2, for example, they would the state would calculate the score for all of the elementary schools, and they would rank order them, and where the 5th percentile at the bottom is, that would be the target that was going to be identified for elementary campuses. Same way for index 3, that they use the 5th percentile. You might notice from 2015 to 2016 for index 2, the target went up 2 points for each one of the levels, for district, for the elementary level, the middle level, and the high school level. So index 3 for the district and the elementary levels, you'll notice that the index for index 3 stayed the same at 28, but for the middle and high schools, it dropped 1 point. So went from 27 to 26 for middle schools and 31 to 30 for high schools. And then finally for index 4, for elementary and middle schools, the target stayed the same at 12 and 13. And for the districts in the high schools, it went from 57 to 60. So those are the targets that we used. And then, like I said, they came out just last week. I believe I remember such a long time ago, Thursday, right? Last Thursday is when they came out. So we were anticipating those at some time soon. So it's exciting that we have those numbers now.
So preliminarily, how did we do? At the district level, looking at all 4 indices, we surpassed all 4 targets. For index 1, which is the index for student achievement, the target was 60, and Northeast score was 79. For index 2, on student progress, the target was 22, and our score was 41.
Woohoo!
For index 3, closing performance gaps, the target was 28, and our score was 42. And for index 4, for post-secondary readiness, the target was 60, and our score was 75. Last year, you may remember that we had 4 campuses that did not meet standard and had the rating of improvement required. This year, based on our preliminary analysis, we predict that Northeast will have all campuses having the rating of met standard. But we'll know for lecture on Friday. In comparing our district results with the state using the first administration of STAR English assessments, Northeast outperformed the state on 20 of the 22 tests in grades 3 through 8 and end-of-course assessments. So, while we are celebrating growth in so many areas, it is critical that we continue to focus on improvement. We have put strategies in place to provide support to campuses. Based on data, we deployed our instructional and technology specialists to campuses, targeting specific instructional needs of our students. We developed a coherent process for monitoring campus progress to include their intervention systems. In an effort to maintain consistency and teacher capacity at all schools, we created a personnel policy change which restricts transfers to other campuses prior to 3 years of service at a campus. We assigned principals on special assignment at 2 campuses, and we implemented a core team consisting of members from the Division of Instruction and Technology and Campus Administration. This core team meets weekly to focus on progress and solutioning for students' academic growth and success. Of course, we will come back to you after the TAPAR report comes out. We expect that out in December of this year, so likely it will be the January board meeting to give you a much more in-depth report on the accountability system. So any questions or comments?
Questions?
How did this meet with your expectations? How did you think we were going to do?
Well, in the fall, last fall, we looked at the scores that we scored last year, and we put in this year's pass rates.
Right.
And we thought we would have many IR schools. So there was a lot of intensive work. There was, campuses worked very hard. We were very strategic about where we placed our instructional specialists. We walked many campuses frequently to provide support. There was just a lot of very targeted, granular, laser focus,
and it worked.
Friday I'll tell you that, but today it looks like it worked, yes.
Good.
I just have a quick question. Can you describe again the process for establishing the I guess target that TEA sets? You were, when you
For index 2 and 3?
correct.
So the index 2 and 3 is based on what we call the 5th percentile. So looking at a specific level, like elementary level, the state of Texas calculates the score for index 2 for all the campuses that are identified or classified as elementary schools. Then they rank those scores. And then they look to find out where would be the 5th percentile that would fall at the bottom of the rank order. At that point is where they will then set the target. So what that means, I think what you're driving at, is that there will be 5% of the campuses in the state of Texas that will miss index 2. There will be 5% of campuses in the elementary campuses that will miss index 3. So.
All levels.
And that happens at all levels, that same process.
Go ahead.
To illustrate at least my attitude toward the way the state does that further, Jeff did a nice job of explaining that. What my problem is with the way the state of Texas actually does that is that every elementary school in the state could have growth, could have progress in the right direction, but they're going to continue to go to the bottom 5% of the schools across the state and say, you failed, your improvement required. And I think that that's a real fallacy with the way the system is set up today. And I have other comments to make, but I'll leave it at that particular, because you asked about the target. So we don't know what the targets are when the kids take the exam. We don't know what the rules are before we play the game. So they wait to see, like Jeff said, from 1 to, I don't know, 1,000 elementary schools, and then they're going to come off that floor 5%, and boom, everybody below that mark is improvement required. So I would just like to add, and I understand we're not done taking questions yet, but I can't emphasize to you enough how proud that I am of everyone. The schools, the teachers in the classrooms, the administrators, counselors, the central office staff that have pulled together. It was about a year ago where I believe I made a comment, something to the fact that in this district, there's a lot of things that are going on, but what's really going on is what we need to do on a daily basis to improve academic results for all kids in the district. And that's what our number one priority should always be in the school district. Now, given that, I will say that we will continue the mantra around here that this is one examination. This is one thing that we do for kids and what we do for communities. And I certainly do not want to put all of our eggs in the STAR basket. However, given the fact that this is a measurement that we are evaluated, we as a school district and as campuses are evaluated each year on how well we do on STAR, I think it is extremely important that we take it seriously and we do the very best we can each and every year. And I feel like part of my pride of what this school district has done over the course of the last year is we were continuing to do this, basically the same things and getting the same results. And last summer was a little bit of an eye-opening experience for many of us in the room when we had 4 IR schools. It just was not something that was very customary to Northeast Independent School District. And the district staff, along with principals and teachers in this district, busted their tail to do things differently and to get different results. And we still have room to grow. We still have work to do, no question. We really believe we already, not that we have it all figured out, because we don't have it all figured out, but we think we have some ideas to actually expand how our students can grow even further next year. So I'm just incredibly proud of what these guys, what everybody that I mentioned earlier have done to get these results. I will say one more time, and I probably said 5 or 6 times in front of 500 administrators on Thursday of last week, this is preliminary. We don't like to count our chickens before they hatch. But so far, the disaggregation of the data looks very promising. We feel very good about it. We will get the word to you just as soon as we get the official notice. But we need to celebrate. We need to celebrate the great things that are occurring in our classrooms and in our schools and in this building and other district central office departments throughout the district, because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves this year to improve. And by George, when you do improve, you need to celebrate that you had good results. So congratulations, Jeff, Terry, Pauline, y'all did a great job in the presentation tonight. But congratulations and thank you to all district staff that helped make this a real possibility. Thank you very much.
Did anyone else have any comments or questions? I think we were all pretty nervous, so this is excellent news, and commend everyone involved, all the teachers, principal. I mean, we were pretty tough on them, and they stepped up to the plate. So, I mean, everybody needs to be congratulated, and we appreciate all the hard work that everybody has done, and I know everybody was stressed out about it. So, I say ice cream for everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Item 8, board business. A, possible action regarding 2016 TASA TASB delegate and alternate. All right, so we've got the annual convention in September 23rd to 25th, and we need to designate our delegate. Last year, Mrs. Wolff was the delegate, and I was the alternate delegate. And so we need to nominate someone to be our voting delegate and alternate at the 2016 TASB Delegate Assembly. So feel free to nominate yourself if you would like to participate. It's in Houston, and it's September 23rd through 25th, but the Delegate Assembly is September 24th. The new guy gets to be...
I got it last year.
You're right. Okay.
Madam Chair, my thought was that you being the alternate last year, that you would like to be the delegate this year, and we'll let the new guy be the alternate.
Well, what if that was not my thought?
Feel free to express yourself.
That's just a suggestion.
Okay, I'm always open to suggestions.
I'll do it again.
No. I can do it. And would you like to be the alternate? Absolutely. Okay.
He said absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, my mic was off.
Or Mr. White, would you
Well,
like
then
to do it?
I would.
Mr. White, I
Yes, ma'am.
nominate you to be the delegate.
Oh, no, ma'am, right.
Been here, done that.
Been there, done that. No, but I would nominate you to be the alternate and Mr. Jaso to be the, you to be the delegate, and Mr. Tony Jaso to be the alternate. That's my nomination.
Can we revise that nomination?
Third.
I think it's a great experience for the new guy.
It is good. I had a fun time.
Why not?
Well, you can just tap him when you're there.
I could just tap him
You
and
can
say,
just tap him and say, you take over.
and say, I need an alternate.
Yes.
She's with you the whole time. Sandy's with
He has to go to everything you have to go to. Just don't sit on the.
All right, so, majority rules. And,
Did Mr. White make a motion?
Yeah,
yes, and
I
I'm trying to
made a
figure out how to
nomination.
revise that motion.
So,
Just say it. I make a motion that Mr. Jaso is the delegate and I'm the alternate. Do I have all those in favor? Oh, do I have a second? Second. Thank you. I've lost all parliamentary procedure. I'm so frazzled. Mrs. Wolff seconded that. Do I have,
okay with it.
all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. All right, if you can't have fun at a board meeting, then it's just not worth it, right?
not really,
That's right.
because
Okay, next item.
Sandy said she wanted it. She wanted it.
Item 9, new business for possible board action. A, business services. 1, possible action regarding Chapter 41 agreement. Mr. Villarreal.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. Brian Moy called up to the podium to discuss this. It's usually something we do every year, so if you have any questions, Brian's up.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. This is the, I believe, 9th time we've come to you with our agreement with the state on Chapter 41, which basically you're signing an agreement to say, we know we don't have any recapture, but if we were to have recapture, this is the way we would want you to, we would pay for it. So there is no recapture.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay.
Well, Madam Chair, I saw the different options, and would you explain what the option that we are choosing?
Yes, the easiest way, if we were in recapture, is to simply, instead of the state paying us our foundation school payment, and then later on we turn around and cut a check back to the state, they just deduct the recapture payment from the state aid. We can, even if we were to get into recapture, which we're not going to anytime soon, this is the easiest way of doing it. We're not in a position to want to buy water from another district, de-annex property, anything like that. So this is just the simplest way to do it.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All right, do I have a motion to approve the agreement for the purchase of attendance credits from the state?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hasso. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. White. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. All right, next item, 2, possible action regarding health and dental insurance premiums. Mr. Villarreal.
Yes, Madam President. I call Steve Tovar, Senior Director of Employee Benefits and Risk Management. But these numbers we brought to you back in a budget study, and we're just bringing them tonight for approval. So if there's any questions, I think Steve can talk to it.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Dan. Those were the exact words I was going to use, but since you've said that. So yes, these are the rates that we brought to you during the budget process. We're bringing them to you for your consideration. We will have 3 plans coming next year, and we went over the low option, high option that we've had for many years, and we're offering a 3rd plan that has a higher deductible yet a lower premium for the employees, just to give them a new option to choose from. If there's any questions, I'll address them.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the attached employee premiums and district contributions for the 2017 plan year as submitted?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wheat. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Tovar. Item B, operations. 1, possible action regarding selection of provider for services in support of school bus stop arm enforcement program. Mr. Clary.
Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests, Mr. Nolan Anderson will be making his way to the podium for this presentation. While he's doing so, I would like to also introduce a couple of guests we have with us tonight. We have Dr. Rick Sorrells, Superintendent of Dallas County Schools, and Slater Swartwood, who is the Vice President for the Business Development with BusGuard. And they are also here after Mr. Anderson's presentation to help answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clary. Good evening, President Grona and Board of Trustees, Dr. Gottardy, executive staff, and guests. Thank you for this opportunity this evening to bring you good news. This past June 13th, we provided you an update concerning the status of our school bus stop arm project and anticipated that the City Council of San Antonio would make a favorable decision concerning passing an ordinance on June 30th. That did occur. So there is an ordinance in place that violators who pass a school bus loading and unloading with the stop arm out and the other flashing lights, they could be cited with a civil citation. After 4 years, we finally have made an inroad to get that ordinance. And I'm proud this evening to recommend that the Dallas County Schools DBA TechServe be approved as the district's vendor to provide for the school bus safety stop arm enforcement program as stipulated by the ordinance. TechServe was chosen over 3 other companies that were presented to you last month during our update. And the selection and the recommendation was based on the action that a 5-member panel of this district conducted to make this recommendation of all the 4 prospective vendors who competed for this opportunity to be our provider. There were certain categories that were evaluated, which included certain categories of questions related to vendor participation. They were evaluated on the contents of the presentation. They were also evaluated on the basic equipment that would be provided in terms of technology and other amenities that we identified to you last month. Also in consideration was the fact we wanted to consider how long they participated in our pilot test program. All of this was scored by points and was eventually extrapolated digitally. This evening, we have presented by Mr. Clary the prospective vendor for this project, and at this time, we are open for questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Comments?
Madam Chair, I don't have any question, but I would like to commend Mr. Anderson and the transportation staff for their due diligence on this, because I know it wasn't necessarily easy. They did the preliminary study, and then they went before the city council and got the ordinance approved and things like that. So I think it's a good accomplishment. And hopefully the program, if it's successful, will be a much better safety program for the students that ride the bus and the people around the bus when it's stopped. And hopefully the word will get out that the tickets are being given or what. But I just want to commend the transportation staff for what you've done to get it this far.
Thank you very much, Mr. White. I'll also like to add is that in the evaluative process, we did include, as I indicated, other people from various departments in the district, and that included the chief of police, the executive director for procurement and e-commerce, and Mr. Jack DeFars, our director, led the panel along with our operations manager and our technical expert, our specialists in the technology field of camera surveillance equipment, and also he oversees our safety program. So we had a diversified panel that made this assessment and is coming forth with you to this recommendation to approve TechServe as our vendor.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, well, thank
well,
you.
I do have one more. Well, this time it is a question. I know there's a monetary component to this process and this procedure. But do you feel that the main reason for this is for the safety of the students, or is it primarily a money-making concept?
Primarily, Mr. White, it's concerning safety. There's no expense to the district. Also, the feature that really helped us come to you with this recommendation are the other amenities that we will be able to include in this package to further enhance the safety around and inside our school buses. In addition to the stop arm technology, we will be able to upgrade our interior surveillance system to capture activities on the bus. Also, with this package, the vendor has indicated they will include a live stream capability, as I mentioned last month, where if we have an incident on the bus, we will be able to tap in and see exactly what's going on inside that bus, and our police department will have access to that capability as well. So it deals with safety. Yes, there's some revenue sharing involved with the package. However, the majority of the funds that are collected through the citation, 60% will go to the vendor, and 40% 40% will go to the district.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you for the presentation, and at this time, we're going to table it for future consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item C, consent. 1, business services. A, certified appraisal.
You have to
Oh, I'm
do
sorry.
number 2.
Oh, you're right, I did. Sorry. B2, possible action regarding 2015 Bond Kruger Middle School campus replacement project phase 2 facility improvements schematic design approval. Dr. Gottardy.
We're going to ask the board that we're also going to table this item and bring it to you at the September board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now C, consent. 1, business services. A, certified appraisal roll. B, waiver of penalties and interest. C, bid items. D, donations. E, 50,000 purchases. 2, operations. A, 2015 bond BAC Comalander Stadium facility upgrades. Project bleacher replacement, bid package construction document approval and bid authorization. B, maintenance and operations program, Northeast Agri-Science Facility, Central Energy Plant, chemical water treatment, contracted services, bid delivery method approval. C, professional services contracts, construction contracts, and related contract amendments supporting the 2015 bond program design and construction requirements. 3, minutes from April and May 2016. 4, end of consent. Do I have anyone who wishes to pull something from consent? No? All right. Do I have a motion to approve consent as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Wheat. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Wolff. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Number 10, reports. A, financial statement review of expenditures, and B, fourth quarter investment report, and those have been provided to you. 11, matters from the floor. Sorry. The trustees welcome comments from members of the public during this time of the meeting. Generally, board members do not respond to public comments during the meeting, although members may request further information or a future agenda item on a matter raised during public comment. As explained fully in the board's written procedures for this time, the matters from the floor portion is a limited public forum. Accordingly, speakers may present on a topic related to district business for up to 3 minutes, but are not permitted to make 1, personal complaints about an individual staff or board member that should be raised using the district's grievance policies. 2, a personnel action. 3, a student disciplinary matter. 4, a complaint about a particular student. 5, or pending litigation. Any person who persists in speaking on these topics after being directed not to will lose the remainder of their time to speak and may lose their privilege of addressing the board at future meetings. We also welcome written comments at any time, either through email at board@neisd.net or by mail, care of the Superintendent's Office at 8961 Tesoro Drive, 6th floor, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. Will you do this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Elizabeth Martinez Perez.
My name is Elizabeth Perez. My address is 9033 Arrow, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Gottardy, members of the executive staff, and guests. On behalf of the Northeast Education Association, I would like to say how excited our teachers and education support staff are to begin the 2016-2017 school year. We are eager to welcome new teachers at orientation and let them know how Northeast Education Association will strive to help them be successful at NEISD. As summer comes to an end, we look forward to begin classroom preparations. Some of us have already been doing that. And to welcome new faces to our classrooms. This new school year awaits with many new changes and challenges. As professionals, we will always put forth 110+%. As we anticipate the 2016-2017 school year, we know we have the support of NEISD. As NEISD continues to be innovative, this district continues to pave the path for others. NEISD is a district with strong leadership, teachers, and support personnel. It is a district where the students do and will always come first. As educators, we will always work hard and do our best to guide the students of the future, for they will become nurses, doctors, lawyers, professors, city leaders, government employees, teachers, and administrators. On behalf of the Northeast Education Association, we thank you for your continued commitment and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patsy Esterline.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Gottardy, Executive Staff, and guests. My name is Patsy Esterline, and I'm the President of the Northeast American Federation of Teachers. I live at 6025 Meadow Sunrise, 78244. So the first thing I want to say is congratulations on the preliminary results of the STAR and the EOC test. That's just fantastic, phenomenal. I don't know if you heard me while they were mentioning some of those. I was the woohooer, I confess. So I'm very confident, knocking on wood, that the results on Friday will be exactly the same, if not better than the preliminary results. So, New Teacher Academy started today. New teachers to our district give up 5 days this week to be introduced to the NEISD way. For these 5 days, the new teachers are given 6 hours of teacher choice so that they can have the entire week at Thanksgiving off. The new teachers will still need to acquire another 6 hours of teacher choice, and they can do that throughout the school year. We have lots of super Saturdays, we have things after school, and they have until, I think, like May the 1st, so they've got lots and lots of opportunities. On Wednesday and Thursday of this week, the Northeast AFT will have a table at the New Teacher Academy. We've paid our $750 for this privilege. There are some new restrictions that have been placed on the teacher organizations. We are limited to only 2 people at our table, and we must remain behind the table at all times. In previous years, there was no restriction on the number of people allowed at the table. And even though we have paid our money, we have never received an agenda or a schedule of breaks, or even a thank you for our participation and the donation that's made to the Northeast Education Foundation. Along with the other vendors that will be there, like insurance companies and annuity companies, we are not allowed to visit schools during a teacher's duty-free lunch or even during the workday. We have to go before contract time or after contract time. Yet Sam's Club and Costco are allowed on campuses during all lunch periods. Insurance and annuity companies are able to see their clients during a teacher's planning and preparation time in violation of state law. So I'm just wondering why the difference in treatment. We are not the enemy, and we represent the employees. Thank you.
Tom Weisty.
Hi, I'm Tom Weisty. I'm at 10803 Burrow, San Antonio, Texas. I really don't want to cause problems. I really don't. But several months ago, the board requested an inventory of Confederate symbols at Robert E. Lee. The school year starting, there are published events referencing the volunteers, the rebel rousers, the Dixie drillers. I'm curious if those were among the Confederate symbols that were part of the inventory. In a couple of years, some of you will help celebrate the 60th anniversary of Robert E. Lee. I think it's important that you understand some of the events that occurred 60 years ago. In September 1957, Virgil T. Blossom, the superintendent of the Little Rock School District, tried to obey the law and integrate 9 black students at Little Rock Central High School. The governor of Arkansas undermined his efforts. The National Guards and mobs prevented those Little Rock 9 from entering the school. According to Mr. Blossom, quote, "They broke into song, usually Dixie," I'm gonna repeat that, usually Dixie, and waved Confederate flags as a symbol of their defiance of the school integration orders of the United States Supreme Court. On September 24th, President Eisenhower sent the U.S. Army to enforce desegregation. This was huge news. Desegregation made the front page headlines of the San Antonio Light for 30 days straight. It was like the Donald Trump story of 1957. In November, the state of Texas passed a law allowing the governor to close any school with federal troops present. So there was tremendous fear of the feds sending the army to schools. I think everybody in this room can agree that nobody is better suited to keep the U.S. out of a southern property than the great Robert E. Lee. On January 17, 1958, the Northeast School District named a school for a national figure for the first time, Robert E. Lee. As a side note, later in 1958, Central High School in Arkansas did close in order to prevent segregation. Virgil Blossom lost his job, moved to San Antonio, and probably knew better than to oppose people waving the Confederate flags. Please be aware of this history as Lee approaches its 60th anniversary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item 12, discussion and possible action regarding board members' request for items to be placed on a future agenda and/or requests for reports from the administration. No action. Item 13, adjournment, and the time is 8:05.